Alright, so as you guys seen in the last video, we went ahead and pulled this out. Now we're up here at the shop. So, went ahead and ripped that off. It's absolutely no good. Good for scrap. That's about it. The gimbal's still alright. Not too bad a shape. But the rest of this is absolutely no good. Although the exhaust might be alright. Got her stripped down. I'm trying to work on some of this electrical. Last time I messed with it, it was kind of giving me a pretty big fit. Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get the starter off of here. Need to actually attach this. So we're gonna start off with taking the starter off. I actually need to put this ground back to the block. I'm gonna have to go through and clean up a lot of these connections. Some of them are pretty disgusting looking, actually. Alright, so I'm gonna have to take this bolt out. It looks like it was probably supposed to have a washer on here, and it just never got put back in. So I can't get it to tighten all the way back up. And it's sitting at a pretty good slant. And unfortunately, I can't get the ratchet or anything on the other one. So, upon further discovery, the starter actually isn't the right starter. So, I went ahead and modified it. We cut about a blade's width off, which should give it enough room to actually slide back in place. So right here and right here, it was actually hitting the block on the inside. So, I went ahead and did that and cleaned it all up. And we went ahead and cleaned the spot for the mount, for the ground. So, went ahead and just did it, so that way you guys didn't have to watch me get all that done. So we're gonna go ahead and get that thing slapped back on here and go from there. Alright, so figured I would save you guys the hassle of having to watch. But I had to grind down a decent bit back here. Because the actual casting in the block is pretty different. It's pretty thick up here and basically kind of flattens out at the bottom to meet up with this level here. And the back half of the starter was actually hitting that. But as you see, got her all snug down now. So hopefully, when gonna go try to wing this thing over, it'll actually engage. The problem I had last time was I would go ahead and hit the starter and it would just make noise. That's it. It wouldn't actually do anything. So I'm gonna try and see if I can find my jumper cables. Just moved into this shop, so still currently trying to get everything set up. Over here is fine. Everything back over that way is currently a mess. So at least I still have this spot right here to work for the time being. So I get everything else set up. Actually, I need to find a bolt for the ground. That way we can ground it out to the block. So I had everything apart. I went ahead and sanded that down so that way I can go ahead and just ground it to that point. Yeah, to that one. I was gonna do the one right over there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. This one here. I was gonna do that one, and when I went down to go sand it off, I realized there was one underneath the starter that I didn't see. So, just let me see if I can find a bolt here. It is a little late, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna try to start this thing up or not. It might. Obviously not like physically start it up. I just need to hear it pop off at least one time. It would be pretty nice. And then after we at least get that, we will start cleaning this thing up. There's a lot of stuff that needs cleaned up, some stuff that needs replaced. Probably 99.9% of these hoses need to be replaced. But starter's back on. Some things I did go ahead and undo for the time being, because obviously we won't want to. Not gonna have not gonna want to have. There we go. A open positive rubbing against anything. Something else that I didn't even notice before, because I didn't actually cut these. I'm actually not entirely too sure exactly what happened to them. But it was set up for a dual battery. And I'm not entirely too sure exactly how they managed it, but there's a battery that's set on this side of the motor and a battery that's set over there. This is your main starting battery. The one that was over here was your house battery. They had a pair of jumper cables running from this battery to that battery, and then from that battery to here, but then they also have this battery hooked up here as well. So I mean, technically it still is 12 volts, but it just wasn't hooked up properly. And I didn't cut these. So I'm not entirely too sure what's going on there, but we'll figure it out once we start playing with all this stuff. So I'm looking up the ground here. I don't know if you can see it, she's a little crusty. For the most part, I mean, it's actually still pretty clean. I've seen way worse looking motors than this, and some boats that run pretty phenomenal. So I think once we get a couple of these little things here and there taken care of, obviously this, but that reminds me, I'll be right back. So I was kind of toying around with an idea. Obviously we wouldn't use this turbo. This turbo is probably a little bit too small for what I want to do. But then again, I'm not sure. It might actually be better off to use a smaller turbo. Never really played around with much turbo boat motors. I mean, turbo diesels, yeah, but like as far as gasoline, I'm not sure how that works. Obviously, I would not mind finding out. Probably still though might not be one of these turbos. This one's actually got a Subaru flange on it. It's one of these here things. But at the same time, I have plenty of these to spare. So, I mean, it's always an option. Obviously, first I want to get this thing running before we start trying to throw more power to it. Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't remember how much the 454s make off the top of my head. But I know this one makes 170. I mean, heck, even if we can get only like another 50 horsepower, that'd be fine. It's not going to be, the 454, and it's probably not going to have the same amount of torque. Well, actually, I can almost guarantee you it's not going to have the same amount of torque. But it was kind of an idea that I was toying around with. It'd be kind of different. Which in that case, too, means that we can get rid of basically all of this. And I do believe it is this line. No, it's not that line. It is this line here. So this line here, we would just plumb straight to outside, build a manifold to put the turbo on, and do away with all this. Obviously, the IMP is going to need that whole back section redone anyway. And I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool. I mean, if anything, too, I mean, just shits and giggles. So I don't know about y'all. I like turbo noises. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. If it's something you'd be interested in seeing, or if you think it's just a stupid idea, period, feel free to let me know. I think it'd be pretty fun. This is probably going to be where the thumbnail is, so yeah. Anyway, we'll get back to doing this. Probably gonna clean up a couple more of these connections. I was thinking about posting couple videos this week instead of just waiting until Saturday, Sunday to post things. Switch it up a little bit. But regardless, either way, even if I do post more videos during the week, I'm still going to try to keep to my Saturday, Sunday. Just depends on whenever I get this video uploaded. Here, the last couple have been on Sunday at varying times. So we'll see. Alright, so my plan was going to be to go ahead and take these 4 here off. The 2 that are under the covers right there and right there are perfectly fine. Almost brand new looking, honestly. A little dirty. But these 4 here are rusty and corroded. Unfortunately, due to rust, each one of those bolts is a slightly different size. And I currently don't have anything to get those off there, and I don't want to break them. So, for the time being, we're gonna just let them be. It's no worse than what it was the last time I said mess with this, so it should be fine. Got the power cable back on and the ground mounted. The bolt I used, well, Allen head, is just a tad bit too long, so I just put a nut on there for the time being because I couldn't find any washers small enough. So yeah, I think that's probably what we're gonna call done for the day. We'll get back in here tomorrow, start getting some of this stuff here buttoned back up. I mean, honestly though, majority of it looks okay. There is some things that I do gotta figure out what is actually supposed to be connected. This being one of those, I'm not sure, so I'll have to look up and see what that's supposed to be. Because honestly, off the top of my head, I cannot remember what's supposed to go there. I feel like it's pretty important. Just, I can't remember what it's supposed to be, so, yeah. Oh. Also gonna be getting rid of this. A lot of people like to switch over to the newer style electric pump. We'll do that. Electric pump, and then we'll do a new water fuel separator as well. And we'll probably go ahead and clean this carb out. It's gonna have to come off here anyway if we go ahead and put the turbo on. So yeah, that's something you'd like to see. Feel free to let me know in the comments whether it's a good idea, bad idea, stupid. I don't know, let me know. Have a good one, guys.